Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Busola. I am a medical doctor living in Lagos, Nigeria. I make videos about medicine and lifestyle. If you've not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button right now. Check out my other videos. I'm sure you'll find a lot of interesting vlogs and sit down videos that you would absolutely love. Today's video is going to be a story time about my job hunt saga. Okay, it was a crazy thing. Job hunting in Nigeria is not for the faint-hearted, and as a lot of you know, and if you don't know, I recently finished medical school, and after medical school the next thing you're supposed to do is to start your house job, your housemanship, for a whole year. So that was the job I was hunting for, and when I tell you guys that it was the ghetto it was the ghetto. Okay, I don't think I've recovered yet from how insane the whole process was. And you know, the funniest part is that I hear that this this job hunting process for doctors is one of the least stressful. Okay, it's more stressful. I've heard that it's even more stressful for other kinds of jobs. So I'm just like, what? It was actually quite insane, and yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys because I know that a lot of you guys watching me are in medical school, and when you are done, I feel like you will find this very helpful. And just for people who want to know how the gist goes, to be honest, if you're interested, then please keep on watching. So before I get into the full gist, if you are not sure about what I'm even talking about at all, what house job is and what the process is like for doctors after medical school, I have a video already speaking about that. I'll leave it linked here, so please check that out and go watch that first before you come and watch this one, so that you understand properly what I'm talking about. Yeah, straight into the real gist now. A lot of people are going to say that, to be honest, I actually just have a coconut head. I genuinely did not have to have gone through all of the things that I went through, because when I finished medical school, I got a free slot to do my house job or my housemanship in my school, in the hospital of my school, where I graduated from. And to be very honest, it is an amazing hospital. Like, it is one of the best. I always say it. Okay, it's one of the best hospitals in Nigeria. But the reason why I did not take that offer was because I was already done with that town. Like, mentally, I had already zoned out of that town. I felt like, not even like I felt like, I genuinely just needed a change of scenery, a change of space, a change of location. I could not imagine myself doing another year in that town. That was honestly the only reason why I left. Like, I was done with that town, with that city, all of that. I was just done, and it was not an option for me, to be honest. I just felt like my mental health would have suffered, even though, to be honest, I'm in Lagos and my mental health is still suffering, but I feel very comfortable with my decision, to be honest. Like, I feel like my mental health would have suffered a lot more if I had stayed back. So I just really felt the need to leave, and yeah, I just didn't take that offer. If I took that offer, it would have been so seamless for me. Like, I would have just continued living like normal, honestly. Like, I would have had my apartment from medical school. I would have stayed there still, because that apartment was really good. So I would have stayed there still. The standard of living in that town, very good. You know, I was already very used to the environment, the doctors, everyone. So it wouldn't have been that much of a huge transition for me, and it would have definitely not been as stressful as this whole job hunting thing was, because, to be honest, I wouldn't have had to hunt for jobs. Okay, but like I said, I absolutely just needed to do it, and so I did, and I'm very happy and satisfied with my decision to make the move. So like I spoke about in the video where I was explaining what the process is like after medical school, when applying to get a placement for house job in Nigeria, you can use two routes. So there are two different methods to apply. The first one is the easier option, where you actually just go to the portal, the MDCAN portal, and pick any available hospital that you are comfortable with. Just click on it on the portal and voila, you are assigned. Like, no need for interviews, exams, none of that. You just automatically get that space. Like I said in that video, the disadvantage to this is that most of the time the nicer hospitals, the ones where people usually want to go to, you hardly ever find them on that portal. Okay, you barely ever find them on the portal, and if you find them now, in split seconds it is gone. Like, it goes very, very fast as well. So you have that option to apply through that portal for federal hospitals in Nigeria. All the federal hospitals, you apply through that portal, but for state hospitals you apply individually. I explained extensively on this in that video, so please go and watch it so that I don't have to keep explaining. The hospital where I got free placement, my university's hospital, is a federal hospital, and so the reason why I could not even apply to any other hospital on the portal was because when those of us that were given the free placement to that hospital, when we were given, once your name appears on that portal for a specific hospital, you cannot change it. Okay, you literally cannot change it. And but because for us, we did not pick it, they literally just put it there. So the school sent our names to the admin of that portal, and they literally just automatically put our names there. So we did not even get to choose which hospital we wanted or not. They automatically just put our name on the portal. And I heard that it is possible to remove your name if your name is put on that portal in that way, where you did not choose it, like it was picked for you by your school because you got a free placement. You would have been able, or I would have been able, to actually remove it, but it was such a long process. I tried to start it, but I ended up just ditching it because it was a long process. You had to like email them several times, and just like continue to email them, and then it takes a while as well. I think it was going to take about like 2-3 weeks before it would finally be done. So I literally just ditched that whole portal thing. And to be honest, in the first place, I didn't have my sights set on any federal hospital. So that just gave me more ginger or more encouragement to just ditch that whole portal thing and go apply individually. Okay, and go and apply individually to specific states and private hospitals. So yeah, that's what I did. I applied manually, okay, by myself. I boycotted the portal and applied by myself to 2 different hospitals. I had my sights set on one particular one, but because I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket, I decided to apply to another one. Okay, so the way the application process goes, or the way to start, is to put your ears on the ground. Okay, you want to know when different hospitals or your hospital of choice is taking applications, when they are taking new employees, right? So you want to know that, you want to put your ears on the ground. So once we finished medical school, we started getting a lot of links to different WhatsApp pages for house job hunting for medical personnel, and so a lot of us joined that. I joined, I think, a couple. I joined 2, and so on those platforms you're going to get information on different hospitals that have their applications open. So you are going to be getting a lot of updates on those platforms. So that pretty much does all the work for you. And also these platforms can also help you submit applications. Okay, so you pay a small amount and you send your documents to them and they bulk submit for people. If you don't want to do that, you can also submit your application by yourself, like individually by yourself, but it is just a lot easier, especially if you are applying to a lot of different places, to have these people submit for you, because how many places do you actually want to go to, especially if you're not living in that particular town, okay, or in that particular city, or in that particular state. So it was just easy for us to send those people our documents, and then they would then do the submission for us. Now I'm going to be listing a couple of documents that you're going to need. A lot of these hospitals ask for pretty much the same thing. I'll be surprised if they ask for anything outside of these documents that I'm going to list right here on the screen. It's just going to be here right now. So all of these things are the things that you're going to need to have handy for when you want to start your application process. Some of them don't ask for this much, but some of them ask for all of these documents actually. So it will be best for you to have every single one of them handy. So another thing that nobody told me to prepare for was to be ready to move at any time, okay, to be ready to travel at any time, especially again if you don't live in the city where you're applying to, okay. You have to be ready to travel at any time, because these people call people very impromptu. Like, it's actually usually very impromptu. They can send you a message now and ask you to come in 2 days for an interview, or in 1 day for an interview, okay. They can ask you to come the next day for an interview. So it is quite insane. So you have to just be ready. You have to be mentally ready that at any moment, at any point in time, you can be called to come, and you have to be ready to move. So that was one of the most stressful things about this whole process for me, the fact that I was not living in Lagos and I was applying to Lagos, and I had to travel at very, very short notice, okay. I had to like quickly just pack a random bag and just throw a few things in and find my way down immediately. That really stressed me, okay. That whole impromptu journey thing stressed the heck out of me. I'm not going to lie. I feel like that was my least favorite thing about the whole process, if I'm going to be honest. Now to the interviews themselves. So the interview takes is usually in 2 stages. For the places that for the 2 places I applied to, the interviews were in 2 stages. So there was the clinical aspect where honestly it's kind of like a viva, okay. It's kind of like medical school viva, where you are called in. And mind you, one thing I also wasn't prepared for was the fact that you're not going to be called in one-on-one the way medical school is, where it's just you answering questions in front of a panel. No, here, because of the number of applicants, you're going to be called in with other applicants, and then they are going to be asking you to answer questions one by one in front of each other. So you may be called in with like 3, 4, 10 applicants, and they ask you, to be honest, mostly simple questions, mostly emergency questions on either obs and gynae, surgery, medicine, or pediatrics. So they ask you how to manage different things, different cases, mostly emergency, okay, mostly emergency cases. You're asked to manage it very briefly. For the second part is the written part. So you have to like do like a written multiple choice test or exam. It can be computer based or not, okay. It can be computer based, it can be paper, and they ask you current affairs, they ask you English, they ask you math, and what else? Yeah, I think pretty much those. So yeah, you are pretty much quizzed on current affairs, math, English, all those simple things, okay. Depending on, I actually don't know what it depends on. Sometimes the exams can actually be quite difficult. I remember one of the places I applied to, it was a bit difficult, I'm not going to lie, whereas the second one was just literally common sense. Like, if you have common sense, you'll be able to answer the questions very seamlessly. And that was pretty much it for the interview process. And it's not on one day. Okay, that's another disclaimer I have to give. It wasn't on one day, it was on different days, a few days apart. Okay, but most of the time it's usually in the same week. Okay, you do those two stages in that same week, and then you're sent home, and you then wait for feedback. Okay, did you get the job, did you not? Most of the time, if you didn't get the job, they are just not going to contact you again. Most of the time, if you did not get the job, they will just not contact you again. Okay, they will not send you an email of rejection or whatever. I don't think so. Okay, I don't know anybody who got any, oh sorry, we did not pick you email or text message. They only contact the people who they've shortlisted, the people who they actually want. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. And then once you have been shortlisted, once you have been picked to get the job, you get a text message. We got text messages. Okay, so you get a text message telling you to come and pick up your appointment letter. So you go, you get that. You then write an acceptance letter saying that you've accepted the offer, and then from there another set of another set of wahala actually starts, where you now have to start doing medicals. Okay, you have to do medicals. These are like series of tests to show that you are medically fit to take the job. So you do chest x-rays, you do eye exams, you do blood workup, like a lot of blood workup, and you have to go back to now go and start getting the results for all those tests that you did, so that you can actually get your certificate for medical fitness, which you would submit. And then you also have to process your salary. Okay, your salary payment, your salary verification application. It's an application that you have to do, especially in Lagos State. I'm not sure about anywhere else, but in Lagos State you have to do it, where you have to, they send you to one place and then they give you forms to fill, and you have to like bring your guarantors ID, signatures, and all of that, just so that they know that you actually mean business. Okay, so after that, then once all of that is done, once all that processing is done, then you're good to go and you can actually finally start work. Mind you, by the time you've gone through all of this, most of the time for us it was a rush. Normally they give 2 weeks for you to do all this processing. We were given, I think, about 3 days to do all of it, right? To do medical fitness, sign guarantors form, process salary payments, you know, all of that. We were given 3 days instead of 2 weeks. So it was really, really stressful. And then you have to then resume work immediately. As stressed as you are, like by the time I started, I was already so fagged out. Like I was already so stressed and almost broken down that I honestly did not believe it. Like, you expect me to start working now? Like now. Oh yeah, and the last but not the least thing is the accommodation. Every single hospital I know does not have sufficient accommodation for all the house officers. Okay, so there are going to be some people who would have to actually get accommodation elsewhere. In fact, actually most people will have to get accommodation elsewhere. So that is one thing to also consider. Most of these hospitals have accommodation, it's just that it's not enough. Okay, so you have to consider that in picking where you apply to and whatnot. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much all of it. I feel like I have gone through all the details, all the necessary details that you would need to know for the whole job hunting application process, whatnot. The way I said it sounds very, very stress-free and easy, but I promise you it is not. Okay, it is not. It was very difficult. Okay, all of these stages, like every single stage came with its own baggage and its own difficulty, which was very, very stressful and, just to be honest, very annoying. But at the end of the day it worked out. So I feel like that's the most important thing. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope that you absolutely enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I'll see you in my next one. Okay, bye.